Okay, this is a story about how I kicked the father of my child's girlfriend out of our daughter's christening. He has had 7 or 8 girlfriends since our daughter's been born, but this was the first one. He started going out with this girl while I was pregnant, and then they stayed together for a couple of years later. I didn't see him at all during my pregnancy. It was only after our daughter was born. And I'd never met this girl. We had the christening for my daughter when she was 11 months old. I had a boyfriend at the time. And about a week before our daughter's christening, do I like this lipstick? No. And the father of my child, Microwave, I've been calling him Microwave because our daughter was made quicker than a microwavable meal. He reached out to me and was like, I don't want your boyfriend to come to the christening. I'm not comfortable with it. Now, honestly, me and my boyfriend had only been together like 6 weeks at this point, so I didn't have any intention of inviting him anyway. I just thought it was a bit too soon for that. Like, it was a momentous, big deal moment. I wasn't going to bring this guy who I'd only been going out with for 6 weeks. But I didn't let her dad know that. So I was like, okay, fine, I won't bring him. But I don't want you to bring your girlfriend then. And to be fair, him and his girlfriend must have been, I mean, they were together over a year by this point. But I just felt a bit, you know, if I can't bring my partner, you can't bring yours kind of thing. And me and him were not really getting on that well. So he was like, yeah, no problem, no problem. So I'm like, okay, cool. Like, it's going to be a really good christening. He'd obviously invited his family. He was bringing some friends from our high school. He was he was 1 year above me. He was 1 year above me, so he was inviting other people from the year above me. I had my own friends and my own family coming. We get to the church for the christening. Everyone's there. Everything's good. And when you're at the front, you know the part with the godparents? You're reading from a sheet, like it's not vows, but you're making your promises to your child and the godparents are doing it as well. We're at that point. So me, him, and the godparents were standing up at the front. We've got the sheets in front of us. While I'm reading out, so me and him have to read out from the same sheet. We're repeating what the vicar is telling us to say. She walks in. The way this church was, so there was the church, and then there was like a big hall and like rooms attached. It was an extension of the church. So she's come in, obviously, through the hall, through the rooms, and into the church. I'm standing up in front of like 100 people. My voice, just from pure anger and disbelief that this girl in my head has had the nerve. Because we're like half an hour into the service. So in my head, I'm thinking she's been told that she can't come and she's just turned up. My voice changed. So my voice started cracking at the front. I start stuttering like out of anger. I'm reading from this service sheet in my head going fucking nuts. But I can't do anything, I'm in front of everyone. We sit back down. Me and him, before that, had been sitting next to each other in the front row, like on one of the pews. As soon as she walked in, he sat 3 people down from me. It was like me, my sister, someone else, and then him. He fucking knew. And I just turned to my sister and I was like, tell him she needs to get the fuck out of here. I lost it. I was losing it. Once the service was over, she's still here. Right, because he can't even pass the message along to her. She's sitting on the other side of the church. Once the service is over, I rush out. I don't go up to her. In hindsight, I should have kept it classy and like just gone up to her and spoke to her, because then I would have found out why she was really there. Because there's a reason. So I went up to his mum and I was like, get her out of here. I don't want her here. Get her out of here. Like, I'm losing it. Because in my head as well, I was one of those, when my daughter was born, so she would automatically go to her dad's every other weekend. And I'm gonna lie, I was still hurt that he had no contact with me during my pregnancy and all of this. And I didn't like it. I'll be honest, I didn't like that this other woman was around my child and I'd never met her. I knew nothing about her. All I knew of her was she had, if you watched my last story time, literally my last post, she had been part of this lie that she was really his girlfriend at a time that she wasn't. And she had lied to my face. So that's all I knew about her. And his dad, I was like, get her out of here. I'm not going to talk to her. If I talk to her, I'll lose it. Get her the fuck out of here. And she got taken home. His dad took her home. And I remember at one point, I nearly got in a fight because I was walking, right? So I've told her to go. She's gone. Told family members to get her out. As I'm walking past, one of his little cousins or little friends who they call cousins, I don't even know. But as I walked past, I heard her go, who does she think she is? I was like, who the fuck are you talking to? And I swore in church. Like, all this time that I've been swearing, I wasn't actually swearing in church. But I turned around, I was like, who the fuck are you talking to? I was losing it. ADHD rage. My mum drags me away. Anyway, obviously, to me, in my head, the christening's ruined because it was just so much adrenaline. In my head, it's like, how did this girl have the nerve to just show up like that? Like, if she wanted to come, she should have spoke to me. Anyway, Fast forward a couple of years. So they were together for years. I never met her the whole time they were together. Never like, that was the only time I ever like saw her up close. And I hated that because it's like, there's this woman that's around my child every other weekend and I don't know her. Whereas I had the decency, I've been in, that guy I was with, the boyfriend I was talking about that I had while my daughter's christening was happening, I don't really even count him as a boyfriend because we were only together for like 3 or 4 months in the end. So I've had 2 boyfriends, like proper boyfriends, since my daughter's been born. And I had the decency to introduce him to the father of my child to make him more comfortable. But no, fast forward a couple of years, so he keeps cheating on her, she gets sick of it and she leaves him. This is his girlfriend. I called her Daisy in a video. So Microwave keeps cheating on Daisy. She puts up with it, she loves him, she puts up with him, and then she finally fucking leaves him and has a baby with someone else, and she moved on and was happier. I miss her so much, and I know my baby dad misses her as well. He loved that girl. Do you know why I miss her? His current horse-faced girlfriend, who he's been with for a few years now, they got 2 kids together, is the devil. She banned him from talking to her. I've got to make a whole video. My daughter went to their house recently and she's lucky I'm not in prison. I can't afford to be. I'm no use to my daughter in prison, so that's why I didn't do nothing. But like, she banned him from talking to me. She talks shit about me to my daughter. All of this thinking like my daughter won't tell me. Anyway, I'll go into that in another video. I miss his ex. I miss, because she, do you know what I've realised? It was a shame me and her never met. But when it came to his ex-girlfriend, there was this perfect balance of her being involved in our daughter's life enough that my daughter knew who she was and had a relationship with her, and it was a good relationship. My daughter really liked her. She was involved enough for that, but not so involved that she actually crossed any lines. And let me tell you how the christening, she wasn't crossing the line. Give me a minute. Me and Brooke's dad, we've never been like best friends, but he used to come to my house and hang out to see our daughter. His ex was okay with that because she understood that I've had his child and that I had to be in his life for our child's sake. His current girlfriend wouldn't even let me send Snapchat pictures of our daughter to him. I don't want him and his ex to get back together because she deserves way better than that. But sometimes I wish they would. I miss her, and I ended up messaging her like 2 years ago. Found her on Facebook, I messaged her on Facebook and I apologised for the christening thing. I explained why I did it, that I thought, you know, it was kind of ballsy of you to come in, but I was like, honestly, like, I'm over it. I wish we could go back to that time. I would become your friend because I miss you so much. Do you know what she told me? Do you know what she replied? She was like, the reason I came to the christening is because he said I could. Microwave Head had told her that she could come and that I had no problem with it. And I 100% believe her. This guy lies so much. He told her it was okay for her to come. That's why she came. And this is why I wish now, if I'd gone up and spoken to her, she could have had a chance to explain that. And now I understand why everyone thought, like, his side thought I was being such a bitch, like, just kicking her out. They all thought that she'd been invited and then I changed my mind. And I did say to her as well, like, we didn't, like, message loads back and forth, but I was just saying as well, like, I wish me and you had actually met. And she was saying, yeah, it was really sad. She missed Brooke. Like, she wished there was a way she could have stayed in touch with Brooke, but, you know, it was a bit awkward. I miss her. Like I said, don't want them back together because she deserves better, but I wish they'd stayed together. I wish he just didn't cheat on her and they stayed together. I never thought in my life, never thought in my life I would say I miss one of my baby dad's ex, but I really fucking miss her. And I know, like I said, I know he misses her. That was the love of his life, like 100% love of his life. But yeah, that's the story of how I kicked her out. And I mean, I feel awful about it. I'm glad I apologised. Like, I don't feel bad anymore because I apologised and I now know that it wasn't my fault and it wasn't her fault either. But like, what a piece of shit he is. What a piece of shit.